be still a few maybe coming in. Parking is, of course, always a challenge around here. My name is Ross Wedlake, and I am the sport chair for basketball for the Canada Games. So you will see me around a lot, although for the first part, I'll probably be spending more time at the Sport for Life Center. Because you know, or if you don't know, make sure you write these down. Basketball is a week 1 activity and starts on the Saturday, July the 29th, and ends here on Friday, August the 4th. But at the new Sport for Life Center, which is on Pacific, if you've seen it, brand new, just opened within the last few weeks. The competition there will only go until Wednesday evening. And from then on, that will shut down, and the rest of it will happen here. So all semifinals and the gold medal and bronze medal games will be played here at the Duckworth Center. Okay, so just so we're clear. Main reason I wanted to speak first is I get to say all the good things, and that's mainly to thank you for volunteering. Because we, and a lot of the people behind me here and myself, have been meeting over 2 years now to, you know, it's amazing to think that this is happening within a week. But we know that this isn't going to happen without your support. We knew that right from the beginning, because we're not going to do it. You people are the ones who are going to make this work. And you all will have a role to play, and we hope that it's a valuable role for you, and we hope that you will enjoy what you are doing, because it should be fun. I hope it will be fun for me. I'm old enough now, I don't do anything if I don't have fun anymore. So I will have fun, I guarantee you. Please make sure that when you leave tonight, you first of all are familiar with the building. There may be some of you, I don't know, who have never been in this building before, possibly. I don't know. Like, I've been in here too often. So it's very familiar to me. But you may not be, so make sure you find out where everything is and the neat things you need to know to do your job properly. That's the main thing, is to orient yourself with the venue. And secondly, make sure when we break off into the groups and you are with your group leaders, they are clear to you in terms of what the expectations are of you and exactly what you will be doing and where you'll be doing it. So when you leave tonight, you should be very clear in terms of where you are working and what you are doing. And that's the purpose of this evening. And they often say this, but I think this is very true, especially tonight. There are no dumb questions. So don't feel, oh, I shouldn't ask that because everybody else knows it. Make sure if it's a question, ask it. Because we'd like to make sure everybody has all of those questions answered before we leave tonight, as we said. Okay? What else do I need to say? I think that's about it, other than, again, welcome. Because we know, as I said, this is not going to happen without you. You people are going to be the face of this Canada Games. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be a lot of the people behind us. It's going to be you people. Because the people who are coming to Winnipeg for the Canada Games are going to have contact with you mainly in the jobs that you do. And we obviously want to put out a good face for not only our city, but our province and for the Games as a whole. So we need to be very nice, not like me, and help people and be as cooperative as you can. And if they ask questions you don't know, find out from somebody else. Rather than say, well, that's not my department, I don't do that. You know what I mean? All they will see is a shirt, and they will assume that you know everything. That's probably not the case, but if you don't know don't guess, first of all, don't make up answers, but ask somebody who maybe does know. I'll be around, as I said, but Adam, who will speak next, will be around a lot, and same with a lot of the people behind me here. So ask those people if they ask you a question that you aren't sure 100% what the answer is. Okay, other than that, as I said, welcome. Thank you very much for being here tonight, and hopefully we'll answer any questions that you have in your mind right now. So I'll pass it on to Adam here.
All right, thank you, Ross. I'm Adam Woodlick. I'm the venue chair for Duckworth for basketball. So I'll be here from start to finish. And again, I'm not going to reiterate what Ross just said, other than the most important word is thank you. We can't do this without you. This is not just a tournament. This is not just a basketball game. This is an event. And this is what it takes to pull off an event. And it's to put off 19 different sports over a 2-week period, all at the same time. It takes effort. And that's where it's wonderful to see people take some time out of their summers. And again, we can't say thank you enough. We want to try to keep this within the hour. There's our clock on the wall. That is actually accurate. And also just a note for parking. It is free after 5:30 on streets, but if it's an in-park lot, the clock is on, just so you're aware. So parking is never fun, and I'll talk about transportation and other things in a moment, but Ross already gave the overview timelines that we're here for our event. In no particular order, there's I guess some order here. Talking about your uniform, volunteer uniform. Trish is actually wearing hers right now. They actually asked us not to wear them prior to the event, so I'm not going to pick on Trish as what not to do. And a sachet like that, what not to do. You're just encouraging bad behavior. But so hopefully that's not news to you. You should have received notification from the games to pick up your uniform at the Fort Rouge Leisure Center. That also comes with a hat. Peter is actually our transportation guy. He's got the white hat on there. Your accreditation badge, which I see many of you wearing, which is great. You should also have received a fanny pack, or bum bag, as they like to call them now, because the fanny pack is so Pan Am Games. But they're bum bags, they call it, and a water bottle. There's also a handbook that you would receive and a jacket as well. Now, that's been, those uniforms have been designed for people. We're lucky. We're spoiled here. It's air conditioned. There's a roof over our head. There's no weather to deal with. Most of the sports are outdoors for the game, so we're pretty lucky here. No sunburn, no wind to deal with, but the jacket is there as well. Plus a handbook. And I encourage you to flip through it, read it cover to cover if you want, but be familiar with it, because probably it will answer some of your questions that may still be in the back of your head. So it's been printed for a reason, not just to be in your recycle bin. So please look through it, and that'll help us all. They're asking that we wear, they call it professional pants, shorts, skirt, or jeans. I don't know what professional jeans are, but to not look like a bum, I guess, is really what they're trying to say. No cutoffs. Looking at a solid color short or pant, those were not provided, but keep the beach look or the bum look for the next week. So I think we'll be fine on that. Probably the most important thing to wear are comfortable shoes. Assume you will be on your feet the entire time you're here. Probably won't be, but plan as such. Don't wear your first time out of the box sandals that you've never worn before and think they'll look great. Your feet will look awful and you'll feel even worse. So again, comfortable runners are probably your best bet to wear for the games. Assume you're going to be on your feet. Again, most likely won't, but plan for that and you won't have an issue. With respect to your volunteer schedule, again, the factor here. What's that? Oh, question already. I'm sorry. I was told that the question was black pants. Again, I'm wearing shorts and I'm not wearing pants all week. But I've been told, and I could be wrong, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, that it was to wear, I've got it right here, professional solid color pants, shorts, skirt, or jeans.
I can answer that.
Black, navy, or tan is the suggestion.
Yeah. I was at the accreditation center, and yes, any color, solid color, like a neutral, brown, black, beige, khaki, anything like that. But solid, no prickles.
We can all wear dark, heavy, thick wool, sweaty, itchy wool pants if that's, no, I'm joking. Be comfortable, but obviously, well, I think it's pretty common sense though. But good question. With respect to your volunteer schedule, actually I'm going to introduce, before I get too far into this, because I've already missed part of this, our volunteer team. As Ross said, we've been 2+ years in the making to get to this point here, to get the games ready for us and ready for to host the nation in the coming week. You already know myself and Ross. With respect to, we've got our material management representative, which is Chino, and I'm not asking for applause because they'll just make their egos bigger than they already are. Chino, we have a wave there. He's also our facility rep, I guess, so to speak. Next to him is Dean Melvey, who's waving as well. Dean may be around a little bit, but just so you're aware, they're both two important people here for the week because they have keys. without keys, we're going to go nowhere. So we got to be very nice to those gentlemen there, and that's great. Thanks for your support. With our transportation representative, we've got Peter Elwick. Again, mindful if you're with one of these functions, because we will be breaking out shortly. Get to familiar. You probably maybe know a name, maybe not even that. But transportation, so we'll give a high wave there for Peter. Our venue admin rep is Ian Dickey, which is here up in the top corner. That's the admin area. We're also, by the way, videotaping this for those that aren't able to be here, and we'll make this available to those who couldn't make it online in the next day. We've got our media and communication reps with John and Jonas right here, so that we know who they are. Marketing rep is Phil Hepner, right next there in the blue shirt. Phil with marketing.
Step out so people over there can see you. Yes.
There we go. That's Phil, everybody. Marketing. We've got Brenda Bacon, which is our food services. Nice, easier name to remember right there. Brenda Bacon. We've got Stephanie Suture, who our medical person. No, it's not Stephanie Suture. That's too obvious. It's Stephanie Trimble. See, Brenda Bacon, Stephanie Suture. That was my bad attempt of a joke. Medical there with Stephanie. We've got a tech person, technology services, Bill Byers. They're having their meeting as we speak right now. If you are here with technical or technical services rep, you come see me after when we break out. But Bill's just picking up all the equipment for us for the week right as we speak. Last and definitely not least, we've got probably our largest group is Spectator Services. They kind of change the name all the time, but we've got Trish Hulson, who sashayed a moment ago in the orange, and Pam Jensen, or Burdette, whatever we go with, Jensen, there next to Trish. That's probably our largest our largest single area, and I think I've got everybody. I'm looking through my group here, everybody's. And last but definitely not least, we've got our staffer that's been working with us tirelessly, Matt Hepner, in the purple Canada Games shirt. He's the one that's kind of keeping the glue of information and such throughout the time we've been here. So again, we couldn't have done it without that venue team. Again, we've been meeting for 2+ years, a couple times a month, trying to get everything set. Back into what we're talking about right now.
Question here.
Yes. If you're here with, I guess we would call it sport, talk to Ross. Yep. Ross is our sport chair, and so that would be game floor. People that are minor officials, scorekeepers, stats, however you want to define at the end. Excellent question. And if you're still lost and I've said something, or maybe you're not even supposed to be here, come see me after and I'll tell you in the right place that you're in the wrong place. I'll tell you that in an hour. So, with respect to your volunteer schedule, that the Canada Games website is the source. You should have received emails, hopefully, over the last number of weeks or even longer. Please double check that it's accurate, because I heard from one person who said that they checked online and now they've been assigned another schedule that they didn't know about, whether they take it or not, and they've worked that through. But don't just assume that if you just on your emails. So double check, make sure that they're accurate. With respect to, keep moving here, I talked a little bit about parking. It's crazy right now. This is like 100-ish people that are here. Parking is never great in the downtown. What they're encouraging is either the use of Winnipeg Transit, which your volunteer accreditation badge will get you on at no cost anywhere in the city to here. A block over, it's the old bus depot, as they used to call it. It's now a central transit hub just on the other side of this is Spence here on the outside. Balmoral is the street, I think it's Balmoral, right? Is the one just on the other side of that. That's where the main transit hub is. So virtually every bus that runs through the downtown either starts or ends at that point. So plan ahead. Don't get in your car at your first shift at half an hour before and put your keys in and go, uh-oh, where am I going to park? It's not going to happen. Plan ahead, get dropped off. It's going to be mayhem for parking. So don't assume that there's any parking available. Take advantage of other alternatives. Question already here.
Are the buses going to run really early? We've got a 6:30 shift.
Good question. Peter, it was the question of how early and late the bus services will operate.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at our transportation guy.
The last bus has to be 1:40.
That's a pretty precise answer. 1:38 a.m. or not p.m.
That's not city buses. That's city buses.
Yeah. Peter was with Winnipeg Transit from when that was horse-drawn days. So he's been around a while. I'm going to go with what Peter says. So he's at 1:38 to park the downtown. That's a.m. correct?
I'll be there at 1:39.
Seriously,
at 6 to 6:30 a.m. And it'll run through, and the Winnipeg Transit will be heavily used, never mind by volunteers, but for visitors and spectators and others. So again, it's the reality of where we are. We're lucky. We're one of the. There's quite a few venues that have no bus service that are just on the outskirts of the city. So we have a roof over our head. We're a block away from the bus pickups and such. So I think we'll be okay. But again, plan accordingly so nobody's caught off guard. Good.
Is Winnipeg Transit putting in more buses because of the kind of games, or are they just running
No.
Ain't gonna pay overtime.
Okay, well, no, actually, this is the time of year when the bus drivers go on holidays, because it's July and August, they got the service back. What you see is what you get. You see in July, August service. Yeah, they've had for over 100 years.
And on top of that too, Winnipeg Transit is helping to transport all of the athletes. So on top of just their regular routes that they're going to be running without intermission, they will then be transporting all the athletes from the U of M to and from the venue for every competition. So without affecting spectators, that's staying normal, but they are already increasing, but it's just we don't see it as like the spectators volunteers.
And I'm thinking it's just normal service, stuff that doesn't operate in the summer, because school's out.
We can't hear Peter's answer.
Okay,
He says we'll be fine.
Okay, it's like normal service, okay, it's like normal service, except in the summer, they take the buses off that are there because they go by the high schools, and they take the buses that go because of universities out. It's basically the same service without the special stuff.
We'll be probably fine. I think we'll be okay. It's a quieter time of year because, like you said, school is out and downtown traffic is lighter because it's holidays and people are not around. So we should be okay. But again, plan accordingly so there's no surprises. With respect to a couple other bullets here that I just want to touch on, communications. Shaw is providing free Wi-Fi for everybody to access, and that'll be through your phones if you do choose to need a connection online. That's no cost. You don't have to be a Shaw customer for that, but that's a guest login. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll probably be able to figure out how to log in. If this is all gibberish to you, then you probably don't have a phone or anything to deal with. So you can ask your grandson or daughter or whatever. Payphones, for those that may, this is the opposite now, right? For the people of mine and older generation, there are payphones. There's actually two right there. This should be probably hung up in the Hall of Fame, which is right here. You can explain to that person who explained to you about Wi-Fi, about how you would use the tick recorder and put it in this machine, and you pick up the receiver and talk. So again, they are there, but I think it's one of the last two in the city. Certain volunteers, and probably more so for the benefit of the group that's behind me here, but others will also receive, depending on your group and maybe transportation more so, is we will have radios that will be signed out by the Canada Games. They are high-end $4,000 radios is what I'm told, so that's why I'm being asked to say this, that they're taken care of. And basic protocol is that they're used for basic communication and emergency use. It's not a chitter chat, it's not a whatever, making funny noises back and forth. I don't think we'll have an issue with that, but again, just so that we're all on the same page, it'll probably be, most people don't probably want a radio because that means you'll have to actually answer it if somebody says something. So again, we should be fine on that. With respect to, again, you'll think this is not applicable to us, but rain day or cancellations. Again, wonderful, we've got a roof over our head. However, if there is an issue with respect to bad weather in the area, there may be a ripple effect that we have to deal with. Mainly we're talking about transportation, because the whole network of moving athletes, coaches, spectators, everybody through the system may hit some bottlenecks if all of a sudden there's delays or power outage, which we could face here, of course. That's just something that we need to be aware of. And what we'll do is actually, you can speak to that with, when you break out into our smaller groups, is some of the protocols of who to speak to or who to reach out to if you think all of a sudden I see a storm cloud in the sky that I'm not going to show up to my shift. Well, hopefully that's not the case. But so that we're just on the same page. And again, don't assume that because we're in a nice, comfy, cozy place here that we won't have some ripple effect that we may have to deal with. But again, we were looking for, we're pretty soft again. Most other sports that are dealing with have to deal with rain delays or other things that will only impact and ripple down with respect to schedules and so on. We also ask that, the games are asking that we look at all of keeping this place as best condition as we can. Basically called the clean as we go policy. If you see garbage or a mess or something that you can pick up or clean up or put it away in the right spot, please do so. If there's major messes or spills, that's where we have janitorial support or other support in the campus here. But again, just so that it's not left, and it may end up being, because there will be food concessions and other things open, so it doesn't sometimes take long for a place to look like it's pretty worn in. So.
Question here.
Yeah. Yes. But.
Is there a place that we get a break to eat? Like if we're here for over 5 hours,
Yes.
for a long time.
And that's a great segue.
Question.
I'll answer that. I'll answer that to everybody when we get there. Question about checking in as a volunteer, a place to sort of start and end your shifts. I'll get to that in one moment. With respect, and they call this a media policy. If a media, and I'll read this out, if a media approaches a volunteer in the venue for an interview, they should direct them to the media zone. We've got Jonas and John right here, which a lot of times they will be stationed at the bottom of these big flight of stairs at the information area. So if a media person, I don't know why, but you never know, has said, and we'd like your opinion on how the games are operating or why they made this a venue or whatever, you can actually speak to our media person or media people because they're probably give a better answer than without rambling. So that's again just something, just so you're aware, should be pretty straightforward. What we expect, again, the shifts that you're being given in your volunteer assignments, that's when your shift starts. Not when you leave the house or wake up, that's not your alarm clock. And again, that goes without saying, but that's when our shifts do start. We are very clockwork with our games, the actual basketball games that will be scheduled here. Those happen, those are very regimented with ensuring that we start and end on time, and we of course would require that for our volunteers as well. Ross spoke already about the overall volunteer experience. We want this to be as positive for you as much as we have for our visitors that are, a lot of them are first-time visitors to Manitoba, and we want to hopefully see them return in other times because of their experience here. I'm going to point out a couple of quick key places around here. This is our main hub, that's why it's perfect for us to meet here. I can point out most of these right here. You've made it through the main entrance. Obviously that's the big doors that are on Spence right out here. That's where everybody will be coming and going in a general sense. Athletes, coaches, spectators, volunteers, that's the main entrance and exit doors there down on the main floor. Washrooms, probably the number one question you will be asked, and probably in an urgent matter. They'll say, where's your washrooms? Quick, is right here. Public washrooms, you can see, there's the signage above there. That's the washrooms. There's really no other place for the public to use, and that's spectator or volunteers as well. Men's are close, women's are further down. Water fountains, again, I encourage you to use your water bottle. Again, trying to cut down or limit our use of one-time use beverage containers. There's a water fountain right below that clock. There's a number of other water bottle refill stations on the main floor as well. So I encourage you to use that and again cut down on our waste.
On water bottles, they are not dishwasher safe. I just want to communicate that because we've had an instance already, so just make sure you hand wash.
Or hot beverage.
Or yeah,
Or
or
a hot
don't
beverage.
put a hot beverage in there either, but yeah, not dishwasher safe, not for hot beverages.
With respect to emergencies, if and when we were to face one, and again, there could be a raft of who knows, again, we're going to be prepared and to either prevent or address things as they may come up. But in the event that we can't and we need to, for example, vacate this building, which is a reality that we may have to in various reasons, we have 4 main exits on the gym floor level where, again, most of not maybe us, but our spectators, our visitors will be in the spaces behind. There's 4 on the main. I feel like an airline attendant right now saying there's 4 on the back and 3 on the side. In the event of an emergency, an oxygen mask will drop from the ceiling here. Put it on first before you help the person. We have 3 on this level here. There's 1 just out on my left, just outside here. You can't see it. That will exit onto Young, which is just behind us here. Same doors on the my right on this side here, which will exit onto Spence. And then there's I believe it's in the far back corner there. It's all marked exit. We've all seen exit signs that are everywhere. And there's also, of course, the main entrance and exit will still be here. Down this hallway, it's a little hidden, but in the back corner by that window, for those that can see it, just straight down there, there's also an exit in the back. That, again, should in the event of an emergency, we need to leave the building, which would be in the sense of an alarm, either being pulled or whether it's real or not, for us, just so that we're aware. Because again, people will probably come to you and say, maybe you have a question, just so you're aware, and then we're okay. A question? I know for the spectators, there will be, and that's perfect on the next line here. For a spectator who needs mobility access assistance, they'll come up the elevator, which is very nice, conveniently behind me here. This is before the emergency were to happen. The purchase, where it says ticket purchase is here, where that white garage door is, that's where tickets are sold. Up this flight of stairs, where at the top of the stairs here is where the entrance point into the gym is. You can see there is a wheelchair ramp which does assist on that, but what we would be asking to do for spectators that need mobility assistance is that they come get their ticket, they would go back down, and there's a little hallway right underneath us here on the main floor, and there will be dedicated spots on the main floor for those chairs to sit as needed. Now, your question on volunteers. Excellent question. Any?
In that case, then there is an elevator on the Recplex, which is...
Use the mic.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if one elevator was out, there would be an elevator available in the other space.
My question is, in case of emergency, how do we get those spectators who cannot go down the stairs out of here because you can't use the elevator?
Yeah, I don't think that would happen because there are redundant systems to provide power that are generated based. So,
Again, most of our spectators, thanks Dean, most of our spectators in that condition would be on the main level, which is ground level. I'm sorry, maybe a better word. On the main floor, which is the quickest exit is out, is right onto Ellis here, which is straight behind us here on the main floor. So, good point to bring up, thank you. We will also have muster points, as they call, that's a bit of a buzzword right now, of where we would be grouping ourselves to, I guess, as opposed to just a random exit, everybody run out like their hair's on fire, which will happen, is just, there's a little corridor here on Spence, just by this Recplex, which is the soccer field that's just 100 feet this way. It's closed in, there's no traffic, it's basically just, there's probably a better word than corridor, but that we would ask volunteers and spectators to be out in that area. It's a large open area that has no traffic. Just again, so we're out of the way. If in case there is an emergency and a fire truck needs to show up, we're not all in the way. We're just out of the way. Athletes and coaches and floor volunteers will just exit out these doors here on Ellis, onto Ellis, just at the corner of Ellis and Spence. And that's where all the transportation pickups and drop-offs are. So again, we say it now so that we have it, we can park it in our brains, and we'll be okay. St. John's Ambulance will be on site as well for any support with respect to spectators or volunteers that may need assistance in that case of a first aid. There are 2 AEDs, automatic electronic defibrillators, on site here. Main floor desk, which is just right here. You walk by it on the way in, and right at the court side, there's these racquetball courts, as you can see through that little gap there, the window there, right below us here on the main floor. There's 2, at least 2. I think there may be more, but that's the 2 I know that we would most likely access if we had to. The athletic therapist, that's Stephanie's area. They're the ones here supporting for the athletes, and that's a different situation. I've already talked about accessibility, which is great. Info booth, I've already mentioned again, but I'll say it again, including for language services. You were asked when you got your accreditation if you were bilingual, and if you did, you took out a little sticker that says Bonjour on it. And if you are approached by somebody who's speaking a language you don't understand, you can nicely say, even just pointing, and they can head down the stairs, and we'll have language services on site if there's a question that they need more than just a point of where the washroom is or whatever. So, let's see. There will be concessions that are open, which are these garage doors right here, these white doors. I believe the stores down, or the little restaurants down the hallway here will also be open. That'll be for spectators and others to use if they wish. Merchandise and other sponsor activations will be here. Merchandise, I believe, will be up in that top corner there. I'll answer that question in a second. And sponsors, will be some sponsor activations just on this area right here. Somebody had a question right here?
Would you have ATM machines?
ATM machines. ATM machines. There used to be one right here. Doesn't help anything.
Across the street.
Across the street, yeah, there is across the street here. You'd have to walk through the main campus doors, other side of Spence. Right in the main doors, there's a couple ATMs there. Good question. Lost and Found is located at our main floor desk right here. Again, not that we need to pick up or whatever, but if somebody comes to somebody and says they left something of value, and I found this sock on the floor, would you look? Okay, that's fine. Throw it out. I found a cell phone is most likely what comes, and somebody will be panicking in about 30 minutes when they realize they've left their phone probably in the bathroom. And so again, Lost and Found is the main floor desk downstairs. Our venue operations center, which will be sort of our hub of where everything happens, is this room right there. It's the orange door 2D11 marked above it. Will be sort of our main hub of where, I guess, as they call it, the venue operations center. Probably your most important place that you need to know is where you would check in and maybe where food would be. That was a question we had earlier. For those that are working over 5.5-hour shifts, they call it an enhanced snack. I don't know what enhanced snack means, but that's we laughed as well when we heard that. But there will be also grazing food or grazing volunteer food for those that are working less than a 5.5-hour shift.
Brenda has
Done?
something to say.
Oh, Brenda has something.
Give her the mic.
Every volunteer working a shift. Okay, every volunteer working a shift gets an enhanced snack, which is a sandwich, and you will get tickets in the volunteer lounge for your sandwich, and you go to the vendors here to pick it up. As well as there's other snacks, like muffins and granola bars and fruit.
Good to know. See, things are changing. Our main volunteer center, or location that you will be arriving and checking in, basically, is right back here. You can't really see the door, but it's just on the other side of this little staircase here, right where Sarah's there, the pink pointing that way. What's the room number on that? 2D12. Don't have to write that down, but you'll remember. Just in that back corner. So as you arrive on in the facility here, up these main flight of stairs, right around the corner. That's where you'll start and end everything each day. And that's where volunteer food is. That will be a little break area, and so on. You have another question here?
Yeah. Is there a place like when we come here and volunteer?
Leave your stuff as a volunteer. I would say no. You got a little fanny pack, bum bag. Not as much. I would travel lightly if you can, but don't expect a place where you can lock up a purse. Well, if you leave it, it may not be there when you get back. You never know. I would avoid bringing anything of value. You can't put in on yourself pocket or the bag around your waist. There's a water sleeve in that little bag. You can put it on there. Now a bigger water, or you can take your little one and again refill it as much as you'd like. Okay. Okay, well I've talked on, I try to keep this to 30, it's 35 minutes into this. Are there other questions that maybe haven't been asked, or you got your back or anything like Ross said? No dumb questions. No dumb questions yet, we'll see if we get one. For the early shifts, what time does the venue open here? 6:30. 6:30 a.m. Is that right, Gino and Dean? 6:30 a.m. is when the doors will open?
Yep.
Okay, that's your question then? No.
If our shift starts on like 6:30 or something, can we come here
6:30 at night?
Yeah.
Question, Matt? And they didn't to watch anything prior to? Not 6:30 in the morning, but no. Yeah. I'll let Matt here, who's better apt to answer that question than I am.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a ticketed event, and so you won't be able to gain access until your volunteer shift.
Okay, but after we finish volunteering, we can watch it.
It would be the same thing. You have to have a ticket to get into the venue at that point.
I've been volunteering everything since 1967.
This is the Ticketmaster protocol, unfortunately. I know we've had this discussion / argument as a collective, and it's one of those things that we had to fight just to get sandwiches. So, yeah. Unfortunately, that's the protocol.
Was other, or Phil, you had something?
I don't need a mic, but can everyone hear me? No, I don't need a mic. Okay, I know you pointed out a lot of different things, so my role is to make sure there's signage everywhere. So one of the things that we're gonna ask from everybody is, if you see a sign that's either knocked down or mishandled or defaced, let someone know so that we can get it fixed right away. Believe it or not, we have a printer on standby for a lot of the things that we can fix. We can have a sign replaced within 2 hours. So, there'll be signage for the volunteer lounge, there'll be signage for bathrooms, emergency exits, and stuff like that. So, your role, along with ours, is to make sure that everything looks good. But if you see something, because we can't have eyes everywhere, I can anyway, but then we would appreciate that help. So, everyone hear that?
I can still give you the mic if you like.
No.
Hey, other question here. By all means, ask.
There's something we have not mentioned. Is there going to be a change room for us?
Change room for volunteers.
Yes.
No. Other than there is washrooms here with stalls if you need to, but best to come dressed to
Is
work.
that where we're going to change our uniform?
If you have to, yes, would be in the washrooms here, which there are stalls.
I'm aware that we're not supposed to come with our uniform.
You can wear the uniform. Is that right, Matt? You can wear the uniform to your shift? Yes. Not prior to? Yeah. And the bus, that'll help you get on the bus. Your accreditation is your bus pass, but it will probably help. But good question. If you do need to change or change after, there are the washrooms which have stalls, and that's our limiting areas. I'm scanning for another hand, waving. Kate, we're here.
I believe we were told that in order to get on the transit for free, you need to be wearing your shirt and your accreditation.
Is that true, Matt?
No.
You need your shirt and accreditation to get on the bus, or just accreditation?
Shirt and.
There you go.
And part of that is because other people will be using a service called Motor Pool, and so there's a certain icon on your badge that will allow that. But with the Winnipeg Transit, they don't want to be having to nitpick and just make sure, so they want to have both in order to ensure that you are an accredited volunteer.
So that answers the question about coming dressed as well. So everybody got that? Shirt and you're wearing it anyways when you get here, so should be fine.
What if you're not sure exactly where you're working?
When you arrive on site here,
Yeah.
head to the volunteer center.
Even now, not really sure.
Okay, well this whole time we're going to break into groups, and if there's, I'll help you in a second on that. But if that question is and you're lost here and you show up for your first shift, again, in that back far corner where Sarah there in the pink is waving, that'll be our area that you'll check in. And you'll find out where to go and what to do. Okay? Other questions? Again, no dumb ones? I haven't had a dumb one yet. If it was dumb, I would tell you. That's a good question as well.
Repeat the question.
She has two different shifts, or two different, I guess, functions as they call them. Where does she go and meet? Good question, Matt.
Just make sure that you try and connect with both leads before you leave. We're around to answer questions and make sure that you're comfortable for your shift.
Here too.
Great question so far.
What happens if something happens and you can't make your shift?
Great question again, Matt. I'll turn it over to Matt. If you can't make your shift, what do you do?
Contact your supervisor.
Yeah, there will be a phone number for the VOC. We speak in code. The Venue Operations Center. So again, on your first shift, when you check in, make sure you grab that little phone number, try and get a hold of us. Or again, too, there's a volunteer accreditation center. If you don't know the number for your first shift, and then we haven't actually given out these numbers yet. We're still working with Rogers. Yeah.
I believe there's some of those main numbers are in your handbook, like the main volunteer center. Yeah, so that should be noted in your handbook if you're lost.
I got a scooter, can I park by bicycles?
It's like a scooter, like she drives a scooter. Can you park where the bicycles go? I'm looking at our venue guys here. Yes? It was somebody else was waving or picking their nose or something I saw. No? I'm not asking if we have no more to ask, we can move on, but if there's any last general ones that we can help answer that haven't been addressed, more than welcome. There were none done, no dumb, no, oh, well, this might be a dumb one, let's see.
As a general comment, the city of Winnipeg is not authorized but to use 2 o'clock when I find somebody from the mayor's office to call me that.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, for 2.5, for a week and a half, or more, I've been calling 311 to verify we can get on the bus. They knew nothing about it. I finally got hold of somebody from the mayor's office. They called me back at 2 o'clock and they said yes. Volunteers in uniform with their badge can get on the bus for free. If you call 311, say tomorrow, they don't know about it yet.
I can tell you that you will get on a bus with a orange shirt and a accreditation badge.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the city of Winnipeg has, from the secretary or whatever, the mayor's office, called me back at 2 o'clock today and verified, yeah, but they haven't told anybody.
Okay. Well, I think that information is with transit. Peter here is with transit forever, so I think we're probably okay with. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. 311 is pointless. Somebody just said.
Don't ever ask me what part of your information.
Last place the phone is 311. Hey, Peter, last one, and we're gonna move on. Never hurts. Peter will phone 311 and say, "There's these Canada games going on. Hopefully you're aware of this." So Peter's our Mr. Bus guy, so he'll be all over it. So we'll be okay. Thank you.